So I'm a social media and marketing manager.
Do you feel social media is having a positive or negative impact on the female body?
I think as a woman in the gym, there are sometimes predatory blokes in there.
Horse swiveled around and kicked me. And I had to fit my hand.
But girls, do you edit your photos on Instagram?
Yeah.
Why?
Got to give him big credit. James is actually really polite to me.
Interesting fact to point out there.
Go on then.
Diren's worn my jeans before.
Welcome to You Know What, the podcast for you that dispels the myths and BS in the fitness industry whilst leveling up your A game in everyday life. We are your hosts, Nick Finch and Dan King.
We're ready.
Welcome to another episode of You Know What. Today we have Daisy and Victoria
Hello.
McCarthy. How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How
In
are
the
you, Dan?
festive
I'm doing
spirit.
grand. I'm having a good... we look great, to be honest. Look at this combo here. Look at that.
We've gone
Love
full
it.
Christmas.
You have gone full festive here with mince pies as well.
So what are you supposed to be?
I'm a candy cane reindeer. Is that it? I don't know, a new reindeer apparently.
New species, I like that.
Your candy.
Yeah.
You're candy. Sweet as chocolate. Well, okay. So thank you for coming on the podcast, ladies. We've met a few times. For me personally, I know Nick's known you guys a lot longer than I have. But do you guys have a random fact for us to start the podcast?
Do you have one?
No, I definitely don't. So you go for it.
This is like one of the only facts I've ever remembered, and it's probably because it's a little bit, I don't know. But did you know that dolphins are the only other mammal to have sex for pleasure?
Oh,
I did not know that. I did not know that. For some reason, I didn't know where that was going for a minute there.
oh
Wow.
How did they know that?
I've got no idea.
How did they figure that out?
I mean, yeah.
Oh.
I don't know, but it's true.
Oi, Tony, get the dolphins.
Yeah.
You want to have a threesome tonight, Sandra? Yeah, got ya.
It just makes me feel weird though, because that time in Mexico, when I hated the dolphins when
What, when you swam
what?
with them?
we swam with dolphins and they were meant to lift me up, but I was too scared and my face just skimmed the water.
Wait.
I was meant to look
Water.
elegant.
We
Like,
started
in the
off
air.
with dolphins and pleasure, and then you swam with them, and they did something to you that they shouldn't have
I
done.
just didn't like them. Everyone's like, they're so gorgeous and so majestic, and I'm like, no, they're massive rubbery things.
But they're probably having more sex than us, so
Oh
yeah.
my
yeah,
God,
yeah,
man.
they definitely are. To be fair.
I'm kidding. Anyway, move on.
Is this a random fact, or is this something that's actually happened?
No, it's right. No, it's...
It is definitely random and it's definitely a fact. Let's just cover that point. Oh my God.
So, ladies, what do you both do, and why do you do it?
I'll let you go, Days.
What do I do?
Yeah.
So
Other than
what
exist.
don't I do? No, I'm joking. So I'm a social media and marketing manager.
Oh,
So I do it for a parade called London's New Year's Day Parade. Before that, I'd done it for International Fitness Summit. That was really fun. Met like James Smith, Diren Kartel, was their tour manager for a bit. And so, yeah, and I decided I wanted a job in London for more money. So I left that job, and then I do things on the side with like other businesses, something called Astra Body that's opening in China's Ford. So all these like cool different machines, kind of like M-Sculpt vibes. So I've got like 3 or 4 side projects I do as well. So always busy.
why do you do it?
I love it. I love social media. I know like that's kind of like a weird taboo topic for a lot of people. They're like, this comes with it, like it's negative, it can be this, that. But I'm really creative. So I love just throwing out ideas. And for me, I pretty much manage myself for my job, and I can do kind of what I want. So I feel like it gives me that just to be really, I don't know, cool, creative, and yeah, I just love it.
I was going to say, it sounds like it opened up like an outlet for you. Now, you have done, so you said you did the International Fitness Summit, to go into that a little bit. With obviously James and Diren being there, what have your experiences working with kind of like those high-end like fitness professionals then? Like, how did you find working with them as people, out of curiosity? Obviously non-disclosure, but you can say what you want.
So I actually really liked both of them. So I met Diren first, so I went on tour with him. I was very new. I was like an exec for the company, and I was really nervous because I saw like he was really good looking, things like that. Like, what's he going to be like? We met for the first time at the airport in London, and he was actually so nice. I really, really liked Diren. He's just like a guy next door. He works his ass off. Like, he doesn't stop. Like, we're at the airport waiting for a flight. He had his laptop out, his headphones on. Like, every second he was working. So I've got to give him big credit. James is actually really polite to me. He was like lovely to me. And yeah, that's all I can say.
Diren's
really.
like pure genuine vibes. Like
Yeah.
I went to the fitness summit in Brighton this year with Daisy, and I used to be like obsessive with James Smith. I was like a proper OG. I was like, oh my god, I'm in love with him. And then Daisy got this job, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna meet James. And then I met him, and I don't even know what I said. I just like blurted out a load of nonsense. But no, he was nice. But Diren, actually, I was like really like pleasantly surprised by him. Like he stopped and like spoke with everybody, really like charismatic and hilarious, isn't he? Like he's a proper personality. I think James is a bit more serious.
Yeah.
We had a debate actually on the flight to Lisbon. So it was me, Imogen, so she puts like helps put the event together, and James and Diren were all sat next to each other, and we had like a massive debate about your favourite Andrew Tate.
Oh God, please.
We were just like completely like winding each other up. And the thing is, I didn't know enough to really argue back. And I was just like, no, I disagree. No, go away. I hate him, blah, blah, blah. But no, I would just say they're both really like professional. And yeah, I've just had good experiences. Like, yeah, just running around, catching flights. I went to about, 5 different cities with both of them at some point. We're just constantly flying. But yeah, they were nice.
That'll be me and Nick soon, don't you worry.
Yeah,
We'll be on that
yeah.
level. I have an interesting fact to point out there.
Go on then.
Diren's worn my jeans before.
Has he?
Has he?
How the
Yes.
hell did that happen?
Well, he forgot to bring jeans for IFS. When I did the IFS event in Battersea Park, just after COVID.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so I did that event after that, and Diren basically on the setup day, the day before, he was like, "Mate, I ain't got any jeans for this evening." I'm like,
What size are you, Dan?
he asked me what size, and literally, I think he now buys his jeans from the same company I buy my jeans from, which is Legend London, because they're like stretchy fit. And I've got a video on my phone that I'll show you at the end of it. Is Diren kind of like trying out these super stretchy jeans?
Are you getting commission?
I should have got commission off it.
You saved him that day.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I've still got a video saved on my phone of him shouting me out in his story for like letting him borrow my jeans. But they are genuinely nice people.
He will
like-
never forget you.
No, he
Oh
won't.
my gosh, so actually something really similar happened to me. So we used
He
to
borrowed George's.
What, Diren borrowed your
No,
jeans?
nearly. So we're in the hotel, obviously in separate rooms, and he messaged me and he was like, Daisy, do you have any toothpaste? And I was like, obviously. Daisy, do you have any deodorant? And later on he was like, Daisy, do you have a belt? So it was my Fendi belt. And I brought it down, and he was like, well, that's going to be too small for me, isn't it? Blah, blah, blah. And
Did you have to get him some feet?
So
he was
far,
going on holiday. Yeah, I got him beat.
so far, Diren's genuine, down to earth, forgets everything that you need for living.
Yeah.
Honestly, brilliant.
He needs a wifey, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He needs a wife.
Well, I think he's working so hard.
He
at the
might
minute.
have one.
Yeah, I think he might.
Really?
Oh, insider! For any fans out
Maybe.
there, that is. Right,
Sorry,
Victoria,
Diren.
it's fine.
Oh,
so
hello.
we're going to go on to you now.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I do a completely different job to Daisy. Mine's a lot more serious.
Yeah, I couldn't.
I'm gonna really somber the mood. No, so I work in domestic abuse services.
Wow.
Yeah. So and I have done for 12 years.
Yep.
So my kind of main passion is around empowering women and violence against women and girls. I manage a service, and I might do a lot of project management and delivery, basically for anyone who has had experiences of abusive and unhealthy relationships. And yeah, that's about it. I'm not really this big creator or big in the sort of
You're getting into it, aren't you?
yeah, I've actually set up my own little TikTok. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
I'm 33 years old. I don't know what the hell I'm doing on TikTok, but you know, we move. I'm trying.
No, you're the age demographic now.
Am I? What's
Yeah,
the
it's
TikTok?
35
I
is
thought
the
it was all
average
kids.
age.
What, on TikTok?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't
Yeah,
know
it's
that.
gone
You're
up.
all right now.
On Instagram, yeah.
Good.
Huh?
You'll be good.
Yeah, TikTok. It's
Mate, I'm still
gone
in
up.
the era of Facebook, mate. I don't know how.
You are
I
still
don't know
in the
how I'm
era of
still in it,
Facebook.
mate. Because
Are
not
you?
middle-aged mums now, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I got rid of my Facebook this year. Just shut it down.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did you shut it down?
I'm not going into that. I'm still under contract. Oh no, I was I'm not going to say what show it was, but I was going to go on a show this year, and I thought, you know, I mean, not that I would have anything like discriminatory or anything like that on my Facebook, but you know, when you just get terrified what they might bring up, like picture-wise or something,
Yeah.
me back in
Oh,
2008.
no. I'm going through Facebook the other day, and this memory comes up from 10 years ago, and I just said some weird shit. And
Yeah.
I was like, I need to go back and delete everything before 2020. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
cringe. Were
Yeah.
you still being cringy in 2019, Nick?
Yeah, I'm always like
Oh,
10 years from now, I'll be looking back now like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why did I say that?
Why?
That's called growth.
yeah.
Mine's just mostly like for looks, I'll be honest. I was a hoe for that. I was all about it.
This is why I don't think you necessarily need to apologise for something you said 10 years ago, because you're in a different frame of mind. Like,
Who was it who got caught out for that? There was someone really famous got caught out for it on I'm a Celeb a couple of years ago. I have a feeling was it
was it Russell Brand?
No, for some reason I feel like it was like
He's been called out for a lot of things.
was it Roman Kemp? Was it Roman
Ross
Kemp?
Kemp.
Yeah.
What's come?
Oh no! It was the brother of that singer. What's he called?
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are
I
getting called
actually
out.
have his number in my phone.
Ooh.
No.
What's
his name?
I'm trying to think because there was someone who got called out for it, but I do agree with you. When people are pulling stuff like things change in 10 years' time. Like things we say now, people go ooh. But then back then, when we would have said them, everything like, oh, it's cool. That means nothing. Now, it doesn't mean it's okay.
No.
Like, it doesn't mean it's okay at all. But the thing is, I think it's bringing up the past that you put to bed 10 years ago. Like, it's probably things I said as a child, because I grew up in a very different community to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, when I say there was only one black person in my entire school, that is the fact. And that was a school of 1,200 kids.
Right.
That's just the community that I grew up in. So all the colloquialisms were very kind of like driven in the, wrong direction. So...
Yeah.
I was going to go completely off topic with this one. I was going to say, what's the most famous person you have on your phone? Like contact with?
Oh God, I think there's a few.
Go on.
I've got
She's probably got more than
Fred.
me.
I've got Fred, the guy from the road trip with Gordon Ramsay.
Do you? You got Fred Sirius?
Yeah.
Why?
10 years ago, I just met him. And before he was like, when he's doing some kind of dinner thing.
Well,
Dinner program.
it wasn't first dates. It was before first dates.
It was before that, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've got James and Diren.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of Love Islanders, but they're not really famous. Do you know what I
Which
mean?
ones you got?
Tommy Fury.
I've got Tommy Fury. No, not quite Tommy.
Oh my God, I've
Jay,
got Dan
his
the
name
Fitty
was.
from last night.
He's big into fitness. Jay. Who was Jay? He was
Jay. Which one? Which Jay?
There's one with
he
Ekin
is so
drama.
good looking. He's like proper fitness vibes. Like he's always in the gym.
I know which one you're on about. The one she palmed off for Davide.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. I know which one.
We Are Festival. Yeah. I know.
Loved you.
I fell in love, obviously.
First moment I saw him, I was like, damn.
Secretly we're together, but
I used to have so many more famous people in my phone when I used to work in events. Go on,
This
Daisy.
is it. This is a guy I was actually on about as well, Conor Maynard. It was his brother.
Jack Maynard, wasn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah. So I've got him in my phone.
Why do I not know these people? Are these like reality
singer.
stars?
I've got some footballers in there, hanging around in there.
Any ones that we'd know of?
I had to. Yeah, I'm actually not going to say because
Okay, fair enough.
I think he was
Just
in a
name the team. Name the
relationship,
team.
which I found out.
What
so.
team?
I don't even know where he plays for now.
Okay.
I had his
interesting.
Not
London,
Southampton, then, obviously.
somewhere in London.
No, I think he's having Liverpool, or Manchester.
Ooh,
I think
Liverpool.
we're thinking about a different footballer.
No. Oh, what? Okay, so he's like my mate. So he went to when he played for Southampton.
Yeah.
He was like 19. I was like 18. We met on a night out. We go to his parties. To be fair, you're probably not really allowed to say this, but
I mean, you
Yeah.
can. I don't know.
Yeah.
If he is,
But,
wow,
yeah.
we've done all right for ourselves.
yeah, he's like a good mate. So
That's insane.
Yeah, so him. But the thing is, I don't even think of him like anything. Like it's just.
Like you're going to go to where he brings in a live monkey.
What?
Yeah,
He has a live monkey.
He dressed up as Aladdin.
This sounds like a Wolf on the Wall Street
so
kind of
his
style.
Halloween party just gone. He dressed up as Aladdin and he had a monkey on his shoulder, and
Yeah.
the monkey was like jumping. This is bad.
That's amazing. No, I don't think it is. It's not-
Monkeys are clever, man. They are little rascals.
They are.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
really enjoy the monkey. It put its fingers in my eyes. I was like,
So a dolphin put his rubbery tail
Yeah.
somewhere they didn't like.
yeah.
A monkey's
Yeah. And a horse kicked me a couple of years
What
ago
do you
in the
and
New
animals,
Forest.
Daisy?
This horse swiveled around and kicked me. And I've had one that's bit my hand before. Animals just don't like me.
Have you got any pets?
Yeah, I've got a dog. Oh, we've got a cat as well, but
But they don't attack you. No.
No.
Okay, good.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Lord.
No.
They've learned not to touch you.
yeah.
Yeah, like leave me alone.
Luckily,
still
Daisy's
well
still alive. She's
Yeah.
with us today.
Here to tell with the tell that.
Oh, to be honest, what a start to the podcast. That's fantastic.
We haven't even got into the meat of it yet, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty stuff now
Okay.
as well. Okay, and we want to start off again with the social media side of it, because you both use social media. We all use social media here, and I think it's really important that we delve into this. So do you feel social media is having a positive or negative impact on the female body?
I think it's a bit of both, because now it's the rise of like the real influencers. So like people with different body shapes and sizes, like doing the get ready with me and stuff like that. So it's showing a bit more body diversity. But also, it doesn't help when you see the Kardashians scroll down to like anorexic, curvy, and it's like, what is fashionable? Or like, when your body is your body, it can't really be, I don't know, it's just confusing. But I like the Chrissy Chella, I love, and Steffi Williams and Williams. But yeah, I think there are some good positive people out there. And
I think even though I think Christy Chella and some of the women sort of trainers who have really made it are great. However, what I will say is, again, their bodies are still so perfect, aren't they?
I love Courtney Black.
I love them all. But I also think if somebody is struggling with their body image, of which I think a lot of women and men do, I think if you're constantly seeing gym content, I think can be quite...
Your algorithm.
Yeah. I actually think on the whole, it's still more negatively impactful than it is positively. Although I do think that there's a shift and there's more diversity. I think it's constantly there. Years ago, it used to be you'd see it in the magazine, you could leave the magazine and get on with your day, and it still had an impact. Now it is everywhere, isn't it?
But you need to think about, though, years ago with the magazine culture, it was called the heroin chick, but now on social media there's so much more body diversity. And also I think when like curves really came in, I actually think that was really quite good for other people, but then not for people that are naturally really slim. I don't know, it's just
it's a very grey area, I think, still to this day, because you're judging what someone looks like literally just based on physicality and physicality alone. And it's like, I mean, we all saw the Cosmopolitan thing, didn't we, a couple of years ago? Do you think that they made the news and they put a woman on there that a lot of people disagreed with being on there. It really divided the country, didn't it, in opinions and how people saw it. For me, I thought it was a brilliant expose of the way of kind of showing off female body images.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people went at it and say, like, you can't put someone of that size on a poster saying this is healthy. And it's like, it wasn't saying that. It was saying we include these people in our features and saying it's inclusive. And I think for me, I really come from the background of getting everyone, as many people as possible, involved in exercise. And if little things like that are going to help people get involved in exercise, I'm game for it. Like, that for me is a big push. It's not saying because you look this way, you're healthy. It's saying these kind of people exercise too, and so can you. That's how I see it from my perspective. And I know there is a very, like, that is a very big topic area at the minute, is kind of, what was it, glorifying obesity, isn't it? There was an essence of it, which again, I don't agree if someone's saying, oh, I'm fat, I can't get thin, like, I can't lose weight. I'm like, are you doing anything about it? That's normally the first question. If they say no, then obviously different conversation to yes, you know?
That's what social media is, though, isn't it? Like, if you put, like, let's say you put a large model into a bikini and you say, right, this is, you know, we cater to these people, then social media will just divide it instantly. Like, you'll get people that completely disagree with it, people that agree with it, and it's instantly divisive, even if it's genuinely for good purpose. Do you remember Sports Direct? They did the gym wear for the large lady, and it had the what do you call them, mannequins?
The mannequin.
That was a big one. Like, that was all over social media.
I don't know why people are so infuriated by seeing differences in sizes. And I feel like particularly with women as well, it's just like people are just so quick to jump into the comments. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Does it really make any difference to your life? You're literally just doing this to berate somebody. Oh, I'm fat phobic, and hiding behind that. Like, no, you're just a bully. Like, leave people alone. Like, we need the diversity. It's really, really important. And also, the way that you look, you can't even tell how fit somebody is. Like, some people are unbelievably, like, strong and fit, but they don't, like, look like, you know, proper, like, hardly any body fat and stuff. So it's never, I just think live and let live. But I don't know, social media can be quite tricky when it comes to body image.
I will say one point there, actually, and this comes actually into mine and Nick's kind of profession as PTs. I had a comment this year which, it was a bit of a backhanded compliment when I took it on board. I was out drinking with my mates, and one of my mates turned around to me and was like, Dan, you actually look like a PT now. And I'm like, I'm like, I don't know how to take this, because I get it. You're complimenting me that I've grown, but what does a PT look like?
Yeah.
Like, for example, there's so many people that I've seen PTs over the years who are the fittest people in the world at their sport, but you wouldn't know that they're a PT and amazing. They're like, if you look in Pure Gym, just at the amount of different PTs in different areas, not everyone looks sizable and muscular and huge, or the women don't look all like toned and everything like that. You know, some people just look athletic, and some people would say, oh, you don't look like you train, you're not a PT. I'm like, why? It's same thing as well. I think there should always be like a PT should look fit and healthy to a degree. You should look kind of in a way. You are the brand at the end of the day, but there shouldn't be this like you have to be big, burly, and muscular to say you train. You know, you should be able to just show it off.
All male PT, and they are overweight, but before they were a lot more overweight. Yeah. Then that shows that they have done something towards it, and then they can become a role model.
Yeah.
But if you're someone that hasn't looked after your health entirely, and then you'd be a PT, then you can't be mad that people won't choose you because you're not proof that it works.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But it's like James and Diren. I wouldn't say, like, they both say about how the typical gym kind
That's
of
how they made
physique.
it, I think. I think
Just being
that's how
normal.
they were
But
recognised.
they used to.
Yeah, they did. And
James Smith did steroids, mate, like I did with like 6 years ago.
And he spoke openly, and that.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that though in people, that they're able to show that vulnerability and they're able to be honest and say, you know, this is what I did do. I know this. You know, it's not healthy, and actually having balance in your life is a lot healthier.
What did you think of the guys?
So I mean, I always aspire to James and Diren. They're two of the biggest guys growing up that I had from the start and over the years. When I met them, I did probably catch up in quite a bad time as well, because when I was working there, I think for me at the time, they're two lads at the end of the day as well, so they're hyper focused on their work. They want to get their shit done, and they'll be like, oh, that girl's fit kind of thing. Two single lads, it's standard, isn't it? But when I met them, it was a very kind of rushed time and I probably didn't sometimes go about the way and wait, because I had the whole weekend to talk to them. I decided on the last day that I was going to have like 15 minutes just to chat to them about like what I can do to improve what I'm doing, basically. And it felt very rushed. It felt very kind of like, it didn't feel like a one-to-one chat. It just felt like they just wanted me to get out the way in a way. But that was just my interaction with it.
Did you go as a guest or did you work
I was working it, yeah. So I was working on the gates on the first day, because then Luke basically gave me admission for the second day as long as I worked the first day.
Oh, so did you work at Live Tour?
Yeah, so I worked for Hijack Event. So when I used to work for Tiger, when I used to work there, the Hijack Event's a huge company. There's loads of things that they do. But then Luke also runs IFS. So I got included in that, and I basically said to Luke, like, I really want to go to one of these IFS things. I feel like I could learn a lot, talk to people and network.
Apologies for interrupting the podcast today. Thank you so much for tuning in to You Know What. We really appreciate you listening, subscribing, liking and reviewing everything that we're doing. It's so nice to see so many of you interacting with our podcast as it grows. If you didn't already know, me and Nick have one of the fastest growing online coaching platforms on the planet, and we'd love to get you involved. We're looking for ambitious people looking to grow their careers and grow their experience in health and fitness. Me and Nick have over 10 years of working experience in the fitness industry, and we'd love to help you achieve the results that you've always wanted. Make sure to contact either Coach Dan King or Get Fit by Nick, or even just check the link in our bio to the podcast now. We'd love to hear from you.
Now, the weird thing about me, and I'll say this now, and a lot of people don't know this, I am really socially anxious all the time. But you would never notice it because I'm high functioning. So my anxiety, I channel through the way I speak, and I get it out that way. Really hate breaking the ice with people. It's my biggest pet peeve. So on that day, I regret it still to this day, I didn't talk to more people, because I just don't like going up to people and talking, especially if they're in a professional setting. I don't want to distract them, is what goes on in my head.
Was this before you became a PT though?
This was during the first year of being a PT, so it was a lot for me to take in, because I came out of COVID, did my qualification, then jumped straight into the deep end. Like, I'm not from Southampton, so I was just pushed out into this boat of loads of people I don't know, go talk to them. I'm like, oh my God, there's so many people, what's going on?
Yeah, it can be overwhelming.
It is, especially like I went to my first networking event not long ago by myself, and I like literally didn't know anyone, and I was just like, oh my God, this is horrible. But in the end, like, there's guys stood next to me and I just started chatting, and I was like, actually, it's not too bad. but it is quite.
It's getting over the iceberg, I like to say. It's like getting to the peak of the anxiety for the day and being like, actually, what's the worst that could happen here? Like, and I listen to loads of like communication guys now, and I'm learning off them how to integrate yourself into conversations and then literally just bounce out of them if you're finding it awkward. One of the best things you can do is say, I need to go for a wee. Hold a bottle of water, drink half of it while you're talking or while they're talking. If they seem uninterested, be like, oh, sorry, go to the bathroom. Don't return.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Just
ask
leave.
for Angela, man.
Ask for Angela. No, don't do that.
I just like yesterday in the shop, I just left, didn't I? The conversation. Do you remember that guy?
Was I
that
even there? Because I can't even remember.
You were probably a bit hungover, and he was like rattling onto me, and I just walked off.
And you were
I
just
was
like, I'm done with this.
I was just done with the conversation.
See, she's off in a minute. She's like, she's
Bye guys.
No.
Do you know what I want to talk about? Because we said we're going to put this was basically going to be about the female body image on social media, but there was one thing that came up that we have to address because you know Joey Swell.
No.
Do you know Joey Swell?
Guy who has, do you know when the whole thing came of filming people in the backgrounds of videos?
Oh yeah.
The guy who calls calls out people, and that got quite a egghead. Not to be rude to him, but he does.
Egghead, man. He looks like a Poundland John Cena.
He does look like a Poundland John Cena. He's huge, but he used to call out people. Yeah. He used to call out people in their videos. Basically, if they filmed them in the back of a video and then they got moody with someone like walking in front of the camera during things like that. Does that make sense?
Right. Okay.
You got me?
So what do you think?
So he started having a go at people if they walked into his video.
So I mean, I think it started off with the female version. Like, a female was obviously filming herself. She's dressed up in a nice outfit. She knows she's there going to get attention. The guy's in the background looks at her for like a millisecond. And then she posts it on social media and frames it and says, "Look at this creep looking at me." And then Joey's like, "No, like, he's not looking at you. You're gathering attention because you got a camera there. He's just looking at like for 1 second." And it was just going on about, if you're filming yourself in the gym and you get attention, that's normal. You've got to expect it in some way.
Yeah. Sorry. But something really funny happened in Pure Gym a couple of months ago. I don't know if this is like fitness related. I don't know what he was doing, but he set up a tripod and he was juggling.
Juggling?
He was juggling.
Juggling.
Which Pure Gym? Central?
Yeah, Central. What? This is upstairs. And he set his camera up right near the toilet, so people were walking through, obviously past, they needed to piss. They're walking through. And you could see he was getting so angry, and then he would just start juggling again.
I can imagine his TikTok right now, like freeze frames on Daisy walking past. Like, look at this woman out there.
Look at this woman looking at me. Oh my God, why is she staring at me juggling in a gym?
I just kept staring at him. So when he said that story, I just pictured myself in the background, like.
Just so, I mean, I'd be confused. There was one actually, and there was one thing that I got. My first video that ever went viral on TikTok, it went viral because I was doing squats. Do you remember the rack downstairs when it was like out the front rather than where it is now? So on that rack downstairs, similar to most Pure Gyms, if anyone from Pure Gym is watching, just a giant rack, I was doing a set of squats, and a guy decided to come across the front of the rack and do a front lever. Do you remember the video? He did like a front lever whilst I was squatting.
Dan. What did he do that as well?
I know, I should never have filmed that and put it on social media, but at the time I was furious that I had a heavy load on my back and someone was I had to hold it on my back, waiting for him to finish.
Oh, was he in the way of
He was in the way of me, so it was dangerous. It was dangerous. I was finished a set and I was like, fuck.
That's impressive front lever though, man. Do you know what I mean?
He literally just comes across, and I just stand there with like 160 kilos on my back, being like, "What are you doing?
Help me!"
I didn't take it into my own hands at the time because I was furious. So when it was supposed to create, I was like, just honestly, if I put my head there, it would just go.
Bro, you should congratulate him. Like, well done, man. That front lever's not easy.
Just stand there, that is not easy,
bro. Do you know what I mean?
But I was part of the problem back then because it's so easy to call people out on these things without knowing the context behind it.
What about the video that went viral that I posted with the gym fails? Oh yeah, people doing the most stupid.
Oh my God,
stuff.
yeah, I've seen some
I had 10 people in my DM say, "Oh, we know where you live. Like, this is not funny. We're coming to kill you." Stab you up and shit like that. I'm like, mate, fucking calm down.
I think gym fails are hilarious. I've seen some people do some crazy stuff.
Why can't we have a bit of sense of humour?
People have lost it so much. Everyone's so worried about offending someone about such a minor thing that we're now skirting around a lot of the things that we like. There used to be one YouTube page called Fail Army. Do you remember Fail Army back in the day? Yeah. Fail Army used to be just a page of fails. Now, if you look, it's like you've been framed. You've been framed as going on for years. We don't mock the people in that. We laugh at them because it's humorous and they put the videos on there for that purpose.
Rumor has it you still have to give a VHS, and it's $200 is all you get.
Really?
After 10 years, yeah.
It's still a bit. I quite like that how they've kept it as a VHS.
Still 200.
I like
man.
that.
It
I
hasn't gone up.
It should be going up, bloody inflation.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm on Blu-ray now.
Some of those fails were worth so much more. Just thinking about the insurance claim of half the stuff that happened there.
I'm amazed people have like the guts to do it in the gym, you know, because it gets so busy in there, don't they? I saw this man, you know, that the boxes, just the like general sort of plastic boxes, he like put them on one on top of another, and he tried to do a handstand on it, but it slipped. The box fell off, and he kicked the boxes across the gym.
What happened to him after?
He just kicked the boxes. He was fuming.
Oh my god!
It's like an acrobat in the corner.
Wait, no, I've seen a guy in the gym. This was about 2 months ago. He comes in, he gets a barbell, he does a handstand on the barbell. It's moving. Then he does handstand push-up. Then he does one hand push-up on a barbell.
That is showing off in there.
He's just completely showing off.
I'm like,
how many girls can I get?
no, he didn't film it though.
He just does it for
I know,
himself.
but
He just did it.
His own validation from everyone in the gym. Oh my gosh, look at me! Look at me! Yay.
But I think it was interesting that video where the lady zoomed in on the face of the guy, because the way that video was taken didn't look like the guy was sort of like a predator in any way.
Yeah.
But I think as a woman in the gym, there are sometimes predatory blokes in there,
100%.
and they will get their phones out. Like I'll be on the squat rack, and I hate the way it's positioned at the moment because there's like the arm thing behind it, and like I've had like blokes with their phones out, and I'm not saying that they're taking videos of me, but I'm looking at them thinking, you better bloody not be taking videos of me, because I'd be like that. I'd be like, get that phone. I'd probably
And
chuck
it's the syndrome. I can't remember what it's called, but you think that everyone's kind of, what is it called when you think that you're like number one character?
main character.
Main
you think you're the
character.
main character?
But men
Is that
can
actual thing?
can be like that in the gym
They
towards
can.
Yeah.
women, and
Yeah.
they can be really pervy, and women can feel. I used to have really bad gym anxiety years ago. You wouldn't believe it now because I'm in there all the time. But and part of the reason was because I was intimidated by the men.
The weights
particularly
area.
I would never go in the weight section. I would always feel like they were going to say something, or they were watching, or it's always a man that's like, oh, how many got left on that, love, and all this. I mean, I have to say it's changed a lot, and I think our gym particularly, the blokes have always been really like respectful. They help me out with putting my weights on the bar sometimes, or putting things away, and I haven't thankfully felt intimidated by them, but I can see where that woman was coming from, because it does go on.
I've always seen that the majority of men are good-hearted, but there's always that small minority that ruins it for everyone.
Yeah, 100%.
And they are the worst. Like obviously, you know, you are going to get some females that also creep in some way, but they're so less obvious about it.
Yeah.
It's the men that are the creepiest when it comes to
And
that kind of thing.
you should be able to wear what the bloody hell you want in the gym, you know, as long as you're comfortable.
Well.
Why? What have you
No,
seen?
I mean, let's not go, you know, that Christmas.
Yes.
What?
There's things that you shouldn't wear in a gym. Man.
What does someone wear?
If you're not allowed to wear jeans in the gym, you shouldn't wear that in the gym. Do you know what I mean?
What was they wearing?
Well, it was. We won't go into it.
No, oh no, I want to hear. What is this?
Anyway,
We'll tell you later about it.
Okay.
it's nothing to do with dolphin, don't worry.
No.
Okay.
Or horses. Or monkeys.
I'm just like unraveling my traumas.
I love it. That's great.
Yeah, no.
Well, you've kind of already actually gone into our next question. You said about what your experience has been like in the gym. So how long have you ladies been training for?
Oh, a long time now.
Well, you're definitely more into it than me. So
We'll do that, don't worry.
And I remember what did you do? This was it. It was like the kettlebell swings. And one day you were like, Daisy, you need to swing it all the way up here. And I nearly done it. Yeah, you were taking the piss out of me. So I went to swing it like up like that. And then you're like, ha ha ha, and you're joking. And it's only to like here. I was just like,
Great humour, mate. Great humour.
That was my second year as a PT, I think.
Yes.
Throw that kettlebell right above your head.
So
My first ever client, and I'm not even joking, my first ever client dropped a dumbbell on her foot.
No.
Because she had a condition where, no, don't laugh, this is serious. She has a condition where she can't control her hand sometimes, and it like lets go of things, and she dropped a dumbbell on her foot, and I'm like, great.
it
Pain.
could have been yours.
It could have been your foot, yeah. That's true.
Oh, yeah.
I had a
Could have been
foot
worse.
injury the other day. Nick was there. The equipment fell straight onto my toe. It was bleeding and everything.
You thought you
I
were
was
like
screaming
cut
on the
your-
floor.
She called
Yeah.
me. She thought she cut her toe.
I did. I couldn't take my sock off.
You guys haven't seen the fingertip.
No, I
Oh,
haven't.
yeah, no, it's disgusting.
I won't show
No,
it, but
no.
something was found in the gym. It was
A finger.
A fingertip.
a fingertip.
So someone had obviously said
My
that
mate
something.
went to a gym. I won't say which gym because dirty. But there was a fingertip on a machine that had been left there.
Cute.
Someone lost their fingertip, and it was like.
And they just casually left it
They
there
just
and
left
walked
it and
on.
didn't put it in the
It's
bin.
wild. I can't.
Yeah.
But that's something you would do because you get really nervous when you fall over. You
Yeah,
would
no.
cut a finger off and just leave it there and run away.
Funny, Vic, but in that situation, I
Who
would
doesn't
be
get nervous
thinking,
when they fall over?
think about my acrylics, my manicures. I'll be straight at the hospital with the fingertip in
the ice.
In ice. No, but going
dear.
back to the subject. So yeah, for years I've been going to gym, but when I first used to go, it used to be cardio. Sometimes when the gym's really, really busy now, I just do cardio. But you've been like you're really
Yeah.
strong. You are strong.
Wow.
A lot stronger
But
than
because
me.
of me,
anyway.
now you do weights.
She just does kettlebells.
Well, yeah, you help me. Yeah, I do a really, really good high kettlebell swing. So
Your squats
Good
are
range
good
of
too.
motion.
my squats are
I gave a little
awful.
squat lesson once in Pure Gym.
I can't get down low. I think it's because I'm
Daisy's
five,
quite tall.
I'm 5'8", so I think it's a long way to travel.
6'4", mate. What are you on
You
about?
can squat.
What are you on
There's
about?
no complaints.
just
5'8" would be a dream.
Yeah.
I'll be living my life, man. I'll have tree trunk legs. No one will call me skinny guy anymore. Lanky beanpole. Long-legged daddy
To be
long
fair,
legs.
I'm quite in proportion, so I'm quite fortunate. My muscle actually
yeah.
sits quite nicely on my body. I do it. Anyway, talking about depth on squats just quickly. Talking about depth on squat, when I first started at Pure Gym, I couldn't even squat properly. And that's as a PT. So,
Yeah.
that's saying something from the start. We all start somewhere. There is a point in time that, you progress later down the line.
And weight training is just like the thing now, isn't it?
It is. Everyone says it as well. Like, if we want weight loss, weight training. If you want muscle gain, weight training. If you want fat
Yeah.
loss, weight training.
Yeah.
But it's because it's fundamentally something we should be doing.
Yeah.
Because, and I say this now, look at society nowadays compared to 20 years ago. How many manual labour jobs do you see as like the norm? The norm isn't manual labour anymore. The norm is sitting at a computer all day,
Yeah.
not
I
doing
think
anything.
it's better. It's just good to say strength training, not weight training.
Yeah,
'cause
strength
you don't
training, yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
do weights.
No.
You can do body weight,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you just need to strengthen the muscle.
Yeah.
Like, because some people do think, I have to be big and strong.
But
to be
it doesn't
strong.
always. No. It doesn't equate
Like,
that way. But I think
you have
it's
to do
just where we've gone with society now. And I always say it: our bodies are designed to lift things. If we don't lift things, your joints are going to suffer. Your ligaments are going to suffer. Your muscles are going to suffer. Your body will not produce the same way that it should do. And now we've gone into the society where we push it so much is because it's so important to everyday life. You think how many people now struggle lifting a bag of sugar? Like if we look at the older, no, but if you look at, hold on. If you look at the older generation, hold on. Look at the older generation. I was speaking to a guy who did my Tesco's delivery yesterday. He was saying I had to take this 4 crates up like flights of stairs because there was a disabled couple up there at the age of 50, and they physically could not carry the shopping up to their own. That's such a small task we look at for a day to
Yeah.
come.
How old were they?
Yeah.
50.
Damn, man.
Yes,
Wow.
he was telling me about it. He complained about it. I was like, I get it. There's four crates. You've got to carry it 4 flights of stairs. I get that. But this is where we are now. People aren't as active. We aren't moving as much. People aren't forced out. I know we shouldn't be forced into labour anyway, but you're not having people do so many manual labour jobs all the time. Everything is just sat there, and like I think our thumbs and fingers are probably the strongest muscles in our bodies
this
nowadays.
is why I say sitting down is the new smoking, because they say that sitting down a long time is going to lead to other problems like not being able to lift things, not being able to improve your cardiovascular ability, and you see it a lot. I worked at a desk job in lockdown because obviously gym shut overnight, so I was basically worked at a bank for a period of time, and I started getting elbow pain, back
Banker
pain,
wanker.
eye strain. Yeah, I know. Customer service in lockdown, giving coronavirus bill loan scheme to businesses was the worst thing I could have ever done in my
Sounds
life.
riveting,
Oh
mate.
my god.
Lockdown was the most. I know some people thrived. I hated
I
it.
just finished uni.
That's when I become like really into my running though. So although I enjoy strength training, I'm one of these people that I like to do everything.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
And I've seen some of your posts about this, Nick. And the reason being is because I hated running, and then in lockdown we were forced to, weren't we? And I become really nippy actually. I was doing my 5Ks and I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then I thought I'm going to continue the running. So I still really do enjoy doing cardiovascular as well as strength training. So I'm not one of these people that's kind of shunned the cardio. I know some people
I
have.
hate running.
I like
Well, it's
it.
when people would nominate you, I'd be like, oh.
Have you ever heard the saying "jack of all trades"?
Yes,
Have
master
you
of none.
Have you heard of the full saying?
I saw that you put this up. Go and remind me because I thought it was really good.
I say this because everyone thinks it's a jack of all trades is a master of none, but it's also better than a master of one.
Yeah.
which is the real saying.
Yeah,
So,
and that's a good saying.
but with health and fitness, you need a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And then you can specialize.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for general health, you should have some cardio, some strength training, some stretching.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for specializing, then you have that base, then you add things
You're
to
like
it.
injury and rehab
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, you can
So you
go
should
into
always do
those
some
areas.
kind of cardio, even if it's walking. That does count in some degree. You just have to like increase the duration of it
Yeah.
to get the same benefit.
And maybe the pace a little bit.
Yeah,
Other than
yeah.
just plodding.
100%. I think everyone you should be doing cardio and weights anyway. I think a lot of people just dismiss cardio immediately because it can get quite monotonous and boring. Like the only reason I do cardio now is because I cycle from Portswood into town pretty much 5 days a week. So I'm getting my cardio in.
But there is a way of making cardio more fun for people that like
There is.
weightlifting. Circuits.
Yeah.
Circuit training.
I love pump. That's
do both?
my.
Yeah.
I love pump. I love running though. I'm on the
I like
actual
a spin.
on the actual
Yes.
what's it
Great
called,
classes.
treadmill. I'm the right weirdo. I can get on that treadmill and just stare at the wall with my music on.
So-
and
Oh, you're
I love it.
I could do it without the music.
Yeah,
Your Manifest
now that's
Monday.
hard.
Manifest
Reading
Mondays.
that thing on the wall
Yes.
saying
That's
you're
what you
burning
do.
10,000 calories.
Yeah, or I do it so I look over people.
You guys are really sad. Really sad. Looking at the quotes on the wall.
No.
You see them
With
every
no
day.
music.
Okay, well, personally, when I was doing SAS selection, I wasn't allowed music, and I had to
Oh
go
my
out for
God,
60
I know.
hours of marching over the course of 2 days, and I had to learn
Yeah.
to be intrinsically motivated.
Yeah,
So-
I don't
Wow.
really listen to music. I'm always losing my AirPods, so I'm like, okay,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
That's just AirPods in a nutshell,
Yeah.
though, really,
Yeah.
isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I've recently got some
How
wireless
do people
Bluetooth
lose
headphones.
bro, the amount of AirPods lost in the gym? Like,
Because they
how
fall
can
out.
you not? Yeah, but you can tell when it falls out.
I lose the case.
No.
I don't even bring
What?
the case in anymore because
Have
I
you seen the amount of,
leaving it.
you haven't been in Lost Property in Pure Gym, but there's
No, I
literally
haven't. I can't say I hang out there.
It's riveting. You should have a
Yeah,
look.
it's not a place you need to be. It's not part of your daily thing, don't worry.
I bet you my car key is in there because I've lost the car key.
Probably.
Someone lost their air tag in there.
What's an
I
AirTag?
don't get AirTag.
It tells
I know, I know.
Yeah, it's what you put in your luggage. And
I lost
things like that.
myself in
Bro,
there.
your air tag's on your finder, man. What the Mate. Right, girls, do you edit your photos on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Validation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I don't do is the whole snipping in the body, like
changing the structure and shaping of your body. Okay.
No, I don't do that. But I
You let
I
AI
fiddle
do it
around.
for you.
I
Slowly
fiddle around
this.
with the colouring, but I don't do the whole like actual nip and tuck because I mean I
Yeah.
just don't.
Daisy?
I do edit. I can't lie. I do edit.
But
Why?
it's very common now.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, most of my friends and people I know do edit. So I just kind of think, well, they've all got banging pictures, and mine, I look like a
So is
toe.
the reason you do it,
A
is it
toe.
down to...
You look like a toe.
Is the reason you do it then, is it more to fit in with the general algorithm of social media then, in a way? Like what you see on social media, is that drawing you to edit more?
I guess there's a bit of everything. Maybe a bit of validation. Maybe people being like, oh shit, it's really good. Also, I know social media. I know what pops up. Bright pictures, clear. It's just, yeah. So maybe it's a bit of everything.
So would you say because of your position and the people you're surrounded by that you're more compelled to do it? Because someone in like, say someone's got 300 followers, they don't really care too much, just posting for their mum and dad or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not going to care too much, are they?
No.
But for you, with Courtney Black and everyone else you see, and they do their own edits and stuff, like,
Yeah.
you're going to be kind of comparing against them
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah. I just like my grid to look.
Aesthetic.
Interesting though,
I haven't
because
heard that for 10
like,
years. My grid.
My
My
grid.
grid.
Yeah.
Like you said,
Is that
with
a
the
thing?
rise of the real influencers, actually, I think the people that are not doing all the editing now, they're really getting a lot of support. So
Yeah.
I really do hope that there's a shift because I hate all the.
It
I'm not
is-
saying I don't do it because I have and do, but I really hate it as a culture.
There is a shift. It has been happening for maybe 2 years slowly, but now it's coming more out now, and they're getting a lot more like contracts and things like that because clothes companies and stuff people are.
They weren't real. It's interesting that we do it
Larger.
though, because you all see each other in person. This is what I can never get my head around. Like, if I completely change my face and body, and then you see me in person, you're like,
No, I know, but to be honest, I've got nearly 11,000 followers. I don't see 11,000 of them every day, do I?
No, you're about. I see
it's
mine.
true.
Yeah.
Down the pub.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see me in the gym. I look like a thumb sometimes, you know.
Well,
And
I
a
wouldn't
thumb
say
and a
that. I wouldn't
toe.
say that.
Daisy's just every limb.
See, every time there's a group photo, I'm always one taking it, so I look like a thumb.
You do look like a thumb, yeah. You look like a good thumb, mate.
I love that thumb picture. I know what one you're on about. Yeah.
You do love a good dad selfie. It's kind of a trademark. Let's get a photo. Bang, straight around there that way. But I tell you what, I mean, I never edited a photo. I think the most I've done is I put a filter on my photos. But you notice the difference in engagement between, like, we've got Sharky here today. No one can see him, he's back there. But Sharky here today did our photos when we were in London. And you can see the difference in engagement between something that's been tweaked and professionally edited to what has been done, you know, just putting on there naturally and organically.
Yeah.
People don't thrive off that. People want perfection. People want to see, like, the lighting perfect.
Yeah.
I'm like, when we were taking photos in London, like, the camera's amazing, but when you still edit him, you see the difference between the two photos.
Yeah.
And you're like, it didn't look like that in person.
Yeah.
And people walking past, they're the only people that are really going to know what it actually looked like
It's because
at the time.
it's because that camera does something that phone cameras can't do.
Yeah.
And like everyone's used to the phone camera until you see that DSLR version, which arguably doesn't look that much different until you look at the details, and then when it's done, it's like just pops, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Sharky's the man to talk about this, really. But
Yeah, we'll get him on again, don't worry.
Well, people have been taking these lights out with them, haven't they? Out in
Oh my
public.
god, yeah, because I obviously
Yeah.
hang out with influencers in my job. So we've done some filming with some big TikTok stars and stuff like that, and they carry around like these little
Imagine whipping out all the
lights.
little ring light.
Yeah.
I tell you what, there was one time I had a house party, and one of the lasses who used to work at Pure Gym brought the unit of ring. I'm talking about the same size as that
That's what
sign out there.
Yeah, it's something
The
I would
unit-
do.
It was round for my flat for a party, and I was just like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I've got to get photos." I'm like, "No, you don't. Put it away. Put it away. I do not need that here." It took up most of the living room. I was like, "How? Like, what you doing?"
When the party's no longer a party and it's just there,
It's
as
just
like
photos.
just to look pretty.
I mean, my
and-
flat
oh,
was
man.
not photogenic. Well, it kind of was when I was there, but still at
When
the same
I
time.
was there.
Well, when I was there, it was photogenic. Yeah, I was going to say,
Now,
wasn't it?
mate.
Yeah, it was actually not a bad flat. It had a decent view. Of,
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you remember.
Yeah,
If you looked
yeah.
one way, you had a nice church. You looked the other way, you had shit end Southampton.
Yeah.
But no, like, I think as well, we are in that culture where it is very much like editing is accepted into society now, and everyone understands it. I remember there was a photo from, do you know Eve and Jess Gale from Love Island?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I went to college with them both.
Oh.
And I remember there was a photo that went viral in our school, or viral for a school, and it was a photo of Eve who had literally edited her photo, and you could see she airbrushed her dress to be wider, but she did it so poorly you could see the airbrush outline.
But you know when you stretch it out,
Yeah.
right? The surrounding
The-
area
like
also
the
stretches
store.
out.
Like the bricks or the stairs or something in the back, and
But
you're like,
blokes do it too. TikTok
Yeah.
has been calling out people recently for doing this, for augmenting their photos to make you look bigger and stronger
I'm
and more
trying to think.
muscular than you are.
I've never done anything like enhance an area,
No.
right? But I've used that structure thing, which makes you look horrifically like contrasted.
I just change exposure.
So
Like,
I'm colorblind, right? So
No way.
But yeah,
That's a fun
not
fact.
the grayscale.
well, these
Like,
chairs are
I
apparently
can see
purple
colours,
to Nick.
just not sort of the same as you would probably see them.
Yeah.
And so for me, when I'm color grading something on my Instagram, it looks brilliant for me. And then when I post it out there, I look back a year later, I'm like, what the
oh my
fuck
god.
have I done?
And this is why, like, you always take the mick out of our fake tan. You probably are looking
yeah,
at
that's
us.
Oh
good.
yeah,
like,
you're
bloody
seeing it
hell.
in a whole different level. You're like,
Yeah, no,
"Whoa."
probably. Apparently you can get glasses that can correct it can show you what it's supposed to look like.
Wow,
Ah.
But yeah, apparently like some of the rods and cones don't like detect certain shades.
fascinating
Ah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, I think we need to go into the last little point here as well. So we want to give some tips to everyone who's watching this today as well. So it is, people get a lot of information from this podcast, and we want something kind of concrete that they can take home with us. So what tips would you give for preventing social media from destroying your body image? Like, what tips would you give to people?
For me personally, I know that it's not real. Like, people don't show their real life. I mean, I don't. Half the time when I get in, I've got a dressing gown thrown on me, like no makeup. I've got dark circles.
Looking just like that lovely thumb that she is.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
So I would not take it as real. Just don't take it as real. Pretty much everything I reckon I see on my algorithm is fake, is edited. So just remember that. And I'm constantly on my phone because that's my job. So I spend God knows how many hours a day on my phone. But just have like little breaks. Like I don't go on TikTok because I get lost in a hole. So I think it's like those types of things.
TikTok is
it's dangerous.
Yeah,
it's
so
dangerous.
I just don't, and it's part of my job. Like I have to be on TikTok, but I'll never go on my own one.
Something I did, because I can definitely get influenced by the perfection, and I then start thinking, oh my God, like really looking at critiquing myself. So I unfollowed every single account that I felt had that impact on me, or at least muted them, and followed accounts that were actually inspiring me, that were more real, that were educational and stuff like that. I think it's remembering that you're in control of what you are exposing yourself to, because even though you know it's not real, for some people that maybe are a bit more vulnerable, they are seeing that as they're not good enough because they don't look like this perfection. So I think controlling what you
I think that's a really good point. I'm going to carry on from that because it's something that I had down as a point is you unfollow people you put comparison against rather than the inspiration. And I did that this year for business because a lot of the time I've had to mute loads of PTs in this area because if I'm not putting out content because I'm in a burnout phase or I need a break, I just constantly sit there beating myself up about the fact I'm not doing something. So I've like muted most of the Pure Gym PTs, and they don't know this unless they watch this, but I've muted them because some of them...
What'd you say, Dan?
I've muted most of the Pure Gym PTs. Who
particularly done.
Most of them. Anyone who puts out content, I've muted male and female because I can't deal with the fact that I'm not working at my full capacity all the time, and my brain goes, you're not doing enough, and it's just I'm always beating myself up about this. So I've muted people, I've unfollowed. My Instagram I used to follow 2,000 people. I've now whittled it down to 900, and I literally sit there when I'm going through it and I'm like, do I care about you? No. Do I care about you? No. Do I want to see you on my feed? No. And I just literally that's just it now, because you see people, you're like, oh cool, he's got a new dog. Oh, they've got a new cat. Great.
It's very easy to think of your life as like, it's not as good as theirs when you see the highlights all the time, right?
I'm
going to say something a little bit broader because you guys have raised like really good points already, and I was going to say something myself, but the Gary V says like the way to like improve your relationship with social media is just to have good self-esteem. That's a bit broad because you can't just answer that like in a podcast like this in 2 minutes, but generally, if you're someone that is impacted a lot by social media, potentially your self-esteem is being affected and you maybe need to improve it. And we're not going to go into details too much and how to improve it, but I feel like it's relevant because obviously Gary Vee is like one of the social media masters at the age, I'd say.
But there is a lot of people out there, like I think when you see content, you need to see content at the right time sometimes as well. So like even when you see people's body images, like, for example, people going for comp. This time of year is very comp heavy, isn't it? So you're seeing everyone getting really lean, really shredded. Like, if you're looking... I know people have different opinions on that aesthetic, but if you are someone who's influenced by people like that, around this time of the year, everyone's shredding down, everyone's tanning up, everyone's looking basically their best they're ever going to look. Everyone's tanning up. So it's like this time of year is particularly detrimental, and because we're inside more often, you're going to spend more time on your phone, because even if I sit watching the football, my phone's still there. I'm not watching the football half the time. I don't know why the hell I'm scrolling. I sit there and go,
it's doom scrolling.
Why am I watching these things? I've got something on TV at the minute. So it can be influenced a lot by like time spans as well, and kind of just seeing this kind of plethora of things come through all the time that can really start to ingrain in your head.
With that quote though, for me, I love social media, but I wouldn't say I've got the highest self-esteem.
So, but I don't think anyone really does on social media. That's why we do it. Like
which is what makes you a great example for being able to like talk about how to overcome it. In terms of like so.
But I'll say something as well. The numbers game, and you'll probably say this as well, Dave. The numbers game doesn't mean anything. Like I managed to hit 13k on TikTok like literally a year ago. That hasn't really changed this year because I've had we've had so much to do, and I hit that 10k, and I sat there and was like, cool. It means nothing.
James Smith did the same with when he hit 1 million.
I remember.
That's
what he was saying. He was like, oh, okay.
It doesn't mean anything.
The enjoyment is the process of achieving a goal rather than achieving it.
And it's hard on TikTok.
I've
literally just set up my page. I've got like 120 people on there, and I'm like, woo!
You've got to start doing those TikTok lives now.
Oh God, I'll be speaking to myself. Hi guys.
I'll tell you what, social media is an interesting game. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast today, ladies.
Having
Really appreciate it. You've been
amazing. It's been a right laugh.
It's been a great podcast. Honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
We can eat a mince pie now.
We can eat a mince pie now.
That'll give me good self-esteem.
It'll make me feel nice and strong. But yeah, anyway, shall I wrap up as usual?
Let's wrap it up, man.
All right. So, thank you everyone for watching the podcast today. We've really appreciated you ladies being on here. Now, we normally plug everyone's social media. So, where can people find you? We'll start with yourself, Victoria.
Oh my God, I don't even know what my thing is.
What, your Insta?
Yeah.
Well, mine's Daisy McCarthy XO.
I think mine's Victoria XO McCarthy. No, Victoria XO MCC.
We'll put them in the description as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
Find me
yeah,
on
yeah.
hers anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, just tap and look for Victoria.
They are sisters if you didn't get it.
Yeah, we're
Like,
sisters.
yeah,
We do
yeah,
everything
yeah.
together. so-
Unfortunately.
Yeah, you have to follow us both. You can't just follow
Oh
one.
yeah, you have to do the double whammy. And if you don't follow me and Nick, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong place watching a podcast. And not following us. But as I say, we really appreciate you guys obviously being on the pod. We've got so many more episodes come out in the future, and we hope you guys love this one. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you leave us a review on Spotify as well. Make sure to drop some comments in us. Let us know your thoughts about the podcast. We know comments can be a little bit delusional sometimes, but I like a delusional comment more. They're always good fun.
A delulu.
A delulu. Well, guys, we will catch you later.
Later.
See ya.
Bye-bye.